Moreno. Tonight we will be having a different show. I will not be participating as Ruby Moreno. I will put that character away for a lot of reasons, guys, because tragedy has hit in Uvalde, Texas. And it has really, really brought a lot of things to my head because I'm very active in my own home community, which is the Mercedes, guys. I've been very active with the school district and I've had multiple concerns with the safety of the students at Mercedes ISD. And of course, that's why I decided to change our show from what we normally do. I had a great show today, a lot of good plans, guys. But I hope you all understand that this is a show about an educational show, an informative show for today. I hope that we still have the support that we normally have, and it's very important, guys. Prayers for the community of Uvalde, Texas, guys, for that elementary, for those parents, for everybody who lives in that city. It's very very difficult when tragedy like this hits, guys. It's a very sad situation. I believe the numbers have grown from 14 to 16 to 18 students have passed away, one adult. And
Biden is live.
Monday,
Biden is live.
our president is
Is
live
live.
right now. But we are live as well too. So we prefer our viewers here instead of we're going to watch our president. Okay, great. So a big shout out to everybody that's here with us tonight, guys. My question is here, guys. Are Valley schools prepared for a tragedy like this? For our own, RGB, do we have the right system? Do we have the right preparations? Have our administrations, have our teachers really prepared themselves for a tragedy like this? If someone would go into a school with a weapon, start shooting, do we have a plan here in the valley in these school districts? I know in my hometown school district there is no such thing as a plan. The only thing they do is fire drill. Well, we need to start thinking outside the box, guys, because there's more to fire drill. There's tragedy occurring, and now how society is. Society does not hold back in a lot of things that they do. When they want to do crazy stuff out there, they're gonna do it, guys. And I feel bad for that community, and I feel so sorry for those parents. This is not a game, and I know another platform that went live earlier today was mocking an individual by the name of Vanessa Tijerina because Vanessa, her feelings, she got very sentimental with tragedy like this, and I know that individual over there decided to make fun of her, criticizing the removal of her child or children from her. But I mean, you can't go criticize someone when you didn't even mourn your own brother's death. Le oraste más a un gato que a tus hermanos.
Yes.
Let's get
A su
things
mamá.
straight here. Le oró más al gato que a su propia madre. So come on, guys. We need to get with the program here and realize that that individual is always going to spit hate. I'm not here to defend Vanessa, but I just want to make my point across. Simple as that, guys. So going back to what we had going here, guys, is a lot of these schools from the valley are not prepared. And who is in charge of this particular incident when it occurs? Let's have a moment of silence for the babies and all those affected. Yes, guys, we're gonna have a moment of silence of a minute, guys. A moment of silence for that family. So I ask you guys not to comment for the next minute, por favor, guys. Thank you. Thank you guys for that moment of silence for the families from the Uvalde, Texas, and I'm sure that we're going to continue to pray for them. We're going to continue to be a supporting cast for them. We might not know them, guys, but just put yourself in that shoes. If it was your child, if it was your own relatives who had been shot there, what would have been your reaction? How
¿Sabes?
hard would it have been?
Algo que me pegó when I was seeing the news, there was a dad looking for his 10-year-old daughter, and they told him that his daughter had passed away. Y cómo se cayó en rodillas My son is 10 years old. And I was waiting for him at the school when that happened, when I was watching that. And like when my son came to the car, lo abracé muy fuerte y, le di gracias a Dios que mi hijo salió de una escuela. But it was a heartbreaking to see that dad, looking for his 10-year-old daughter, and then they tell him que
A lot of
no
innocent people's lives were lost today. A lot of lives were lost today, and I'm sure the number's going to grow because there's still a lot of students that were wounded that are still in critical conditions in the hospital. I know that they have transferred some to San Antonio. So we have to continue to pray, guys, and this is where we have to unite and put our differences aside. I believe it's time to unite and in this type of occasion, guys. And that is why I decided to put my differences aside for today. If we have any peacocks who want to comment here, I respectfully ask guys to respect their comment for today's date because it's about unity. I also want to speak about safe schools. Safe schools is very important. Rosa, my hometown has become the worst place to live. A killing every day is sad. Wow. It's very sad, guys. So safe schools is what really protects the school districts, right? You have in Mercedes, we have Mr. Canales, who is in charge of that department. And my thing is, when you have somebody in the safe schools department, somebody who's in charge of that department, they should be, I know that they have their masters, they have their bachelors, but they should be more educated. I think they should be more into the law enforcement field because right there you come in with a different mindset as an educator. As I cuenta, Mr. Canales was a teacher principal, and now he saves schools. I think there's something missing there. So I believe I believe that anybody who's in charge of safe schools should come with an education. Either you've been in the Army before, you come with law enforcement or border patrol, something where it's gonna be able to give you some sort of credibility for that position.
Even forces,
right? Because that comes in with you have you've been through certain situations like that, and when you have an individual that does not come with any of that experience, that's where usually you don't go through these things over and over again. For example, and I'm going to ask you guys, how many of you school districts have ever gone through a drill of a someone goes into the school and shooting? How many of your school districts are prepared for that? I want to see comments. Is your school district prepared for a shooting? Is my question. Is how many of your school districts are prepared, or they make them to continuous education? Correct. And the shooter took his own life. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. I worked at an elementary, and I went into carry to protect. I think all schools should have a armed security teacher, principal, or staff. Edinburgh does drills. A big shout out to Edinburgh School District because that's the first time that I hear a school here in the Valley that does any type of that. I know in Mercedes they just worry about which is the fire drill. I mean, we need to start thinking outside the box. There's people.
IDEA has something called Code Black.
And what is that?
Code Black is, and they teach the children, like even if they're in the restroom, if there's a code black, what they're supposed to do. Stand and step on the stall and wait quietly for a teacher and an adult to come and get them. Go under the desk. How to barricade the door. And they call it code black.
We have Donna ISD has a drill last year, I believe, by the Divas. Harlingen does a drill. Corpus does a drill. Why not just take your own life? Why kill innocent people? Rose, I mean, we can't think for that individual, but maybe that person was going through depression. Maybe he was going through some, mental issue. A lot of these kids that are growing up are going through mental issues. And remember, we are still in the month of mental month awareness. So it's very important that we look at that angle as well. We can't just say, okay, pues this kid did it. There's probably more to it that we're not aware of the situation. I'm not saying I'm going to condone what he did because what he did is terrible. But this is where a parent needs to be involved. And this is where you have to see the parents' involvement, especially when they're children. If there's no involvement with their children, the child still feels left out, depressed, sad, then tragedy is going to occur. And we had that here in West ISD when that little boy from the
Yeah.
junior high, or was it high school?
No, junior high.
Junior high, where the child committed suicide. He had a diary and wrote exactly what he was going to do. Eventually, he took his life away. So it's very important that there is involvement by a parent, whether it's the father or the mother. A lot of these kids that tend to do this are kids that come from a dysfunctional household.
Yeah. Look at Mrs. OSCC.
A ver. Okay.
But it do like if we
Right here, look,
homeschool.
right, we have. This is why I'm a homeschool teacher. This is, whole thing's really affected many people mentally by being perhaps they felt forgotten and went out knowing that they're true. Let's answer this one right here. We have a call with us right now. Hello. You want to call it back?
Yeah.
Oh. Call it back. So we have someone calling in for us right now. Put it on speaker. This real quick. You have to get it out of it. Okay, I'm sorry. Hello, Monday.
How are y'all doing?
I'm doing good. We're doing good. We're here discussing, our school districts, our safe school. Do we have the programs to be able to be prepared for a tragedy like this to avoid it?
Yeah, I also want to talk about something, and I think it kind of it fits into what's going on, because there's a lot of people like on social media flashing guns, and it's public knowledge to everyone. And I know everybody's like, oh, who's gonna take care of our school? Who's gonna protect our schools? But on the social media, this kid posted that picture 4 days ago. 4 days ago, he had those guns out there. Why don't we have a task force that goes and wait instead of waiting till something like this happens?
Right here in the valley, there's been incidents like that, and they take initiative. They don't take it as a joke. Y van y los encierran right off the bat. I don't know why the police department didn't act upon that.
Exactly, and I think a lot of it stems from this whole social media thing. I mean, if you're on there flashing a gun and you don't have the right to hold that gun, then something needs to happen, because that's proof in itself that you had the gun in your possession. And it's just either, que van a salir que it's not a real gun or it was fake or whatever they want to say. It's just, it all starts with that social media thing. Who knows? Like apparently they said the girlfriend now is making threats, and it's just going and going.
Right.
Well,
It's a sad situation, especially you that you live very close to Uvalde, Texas. I'm sure it's very hard, and and you have kids that still attend high school, and I'm sure now you have a lot of concerns, worried, questions, and that is why I encourage parents to be active in their own districts, because things like this could occur from one day to another, and it changes people's lives.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I think I've been spoken out. Like a lot of people have said that, like I'm always ahí en la escuela, I'm just there like calling, or I'm doing something, or I was like I made a big old thing. I made a big old thing when something like this. There was threats to our schools, not just to Burbank High School, but to another school, which is Brackenridge High School, close by. And the school didn't even inform us. We found out from the kids. And I was real active. I threw it out there on social media, and a lot of parents started calling. They got real upset that I caused, I caused the scare. And it's not that. It's because parents need to be aware. I'm sure if somebody would have known in that area, like if they would have made it aware, maybe some of the parents would have been at the school. Like it's just so many things that could have been stopped or precautions. And because I don't know why they didn't say anything. Nobody said anything. Like you said, y'all have a task force. Why didn't they have one there? What's going on? Like I know everybody's talking about what could have happened, but we need to talk about what needs to happen as well.
We need to talk about changes. I believe that we have to. Now we saw the consequences of when when tragedy occurs. Now I think we need to look at the angle and say we need to prepare ourselves and see things differently after this occurs. I know that there's been shooting in several different areas or have occurred in different school districts, but I feel that people have not taken initiative on changes in their own school districts, and that's why things like this occur consistently over and over again.
Yep, definitely, and that's good. I hope maybe we can start a chain, maybe in your school district over the summer. I encourage everyone to call their school, and if you have free time, go to the school, be more active, go spend time with, I know we all want to break sometimes from, work and from school with our kids and everything, but look at what it's coming to.
Right. Well, thank you for calling in, Cecilia. We appreciate it.
Yes, a ver, vamos a hablar de algo más al rato, but I'll call you.
Yeah, está bien. Okay,
Thank
bueno,
you.
gracias. Okay,
Bye, Anna.
Bye.
so guys, that was Cecilia who called this saying and gave us a little bit of her own point of view. I mean, the lines are open if anybody wants to call in at 956-756-6047. Again, guys, this is something that is not a joke. This is something that has been, it probably hit, people's homes. People have,
I know one of my closest friend and sister in Christ. Her grandson was there,
at the school.
and the teacher that passed away believe it was her grandson's teacher.
So, guys, again, this is a very sad situation. And my question is here, how many schools from the Valley are prepared? How many schools from your hometown are prepared? And I believe my hometown is not prepared for a situation like this. When a person likes OM, shows hate, wishing death, shows how someone being beat up is a joke. Most schools have security patrol, but some don't. I'm going to talk about that, J-Lo, now that we have you here. Security patrol, I don't think it's the same as having a police department. I think it's more important to have a police department than security control. Security control, are they allowed to carry weapons or no?
No.
Are security controls allowed to carry weapons in the school district? Does anybody know or anybody have any relative that's working in the school district? I think it's a lot better to have a police department within the school district. So obviously when they have these school board meetings and they start discussing about let's bring in a security guard company, they could put up for bid to bring in a police department and have them there. What are we talking about? We are talking about the shooting that occurred at Uvalde, Texas. We're also looking at the schools. Are they safe here in the Valley for a situation like this? Or in your home?
Roseville town, they do have armed security.
Okay. Hello. How's everybody doing? We have a aunt that lives in Uvalde. The whole town is hurting. Wow.
I can imagine.
Qué triste es ver que suceden estas cosas en muchos vidas se han perdido hoy, especialmente de niños inocentes, de niños que sus padres están doliendo por estas criaturas. Y estamos con ellos para apoyarlos en estos difíciles momentos. Aquí nosotros decidimos hacer un programa muy diferente de lo que hacemos normalmente.
Por eso no tenemos las wigs, por eso no tenemos el lipstick y eso, porque este es algo que nos ha tocado a todos.
They are not allowed to be armed. They are not allowed to be armed, but they should. That's wrong. They all should have a peace officer. That is why I'm saying muchos de los distritos aquí en el Valle no están preparados para una situación así. En mi propia opinión, les falta tener un departamento de policía en cada distrito para que pueda entrenar nada más a los maestros y a todos de la escuela.
An idea is the same thing. You have to have an appointment.
McAllen ISD has security guards always patrolling campus. They are armed. My babies have locked doors, and wow, the security guards their school. I appreciate that. That's good, Roser. That's very, very good to know. Baja tu gato que todavía está scratching arriba. It's making a lot of noise. At my kid's school district, every single school has 2 officers all day, every day. You can't enter. You know what? And in Mercedes, I noticed that the police officers are actually at central office. Yeah, but you can extremely involved. But if not, everyone is on the same page. Where is the change going to happen?
Yeah,
I homeschooled this year, and I was glad I did. Needed to worry about that. Banning firearms isn't the answer, though. School should be locked. No one should be left inside the campus. My question is, how did he get inside? That's another thing. Obviously, it is an elementary. He was a student to this district, so maybe se les hizo fácil abrir la puerta, or the doors were not locked, or maybe they don't have that in that school district.
Yeah, because something that I hate it. The gate is always closed at idea. But now, con esto que pasó, like, me hace entender un poquito por qué. Para que te abran el gate, se tarda. Y luego, pues yo en veces voy a la carrera, you know, we have doctor's appointment or something, la doctor's appointment is at 12, llego ahí a las 11:45 a levantar a my son. By the time, and then the door is locked, I have to wait outside hasta que salga alguien y me diga que, what am I there for? And then I tell him, I'm here to pick up so and so. And then I have to go in, sign them out, and then wait back outside en el calor o en la lluvia como hoy, until my children, they don't we just go inside and then we have to wait outside.
I saw a comment here by Diva. It says, my cousin ISD police do care. My dad works for them. He is a retired cop. And you know what? When I spoke about safe schools, those are the type of the individuals that we want at safe school. Those are the type of individuals that the school district should hire because they come with experience. And they know how to use a firearm. And not only that, they've probably been through all these task force in order to know more about the law enforcement. So a person like that, if I had a job opening for safe schools, is the one that I would hire, the Diva staff, because he comes with experience in that type of environment. You sound like you RJ. Okay, you sound like you a bottom. This is my heartbreaking. What does it say here? Repunk. I can't. Can they block repunk? I can, please, or whatever it's called. Can they block that one? The repunk? I can't. Thank you. This is heartbreaking. I remember the Sandy Hook shooting 8 days before Christmas and the Santa Fe school shooting the last day of school.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this shooting has been going on for years, guys.
Why this elementary school?
Curious to know why this elementary school, why did this young man target this elementary school? Maybe it was close to his house. Not too sure. Maybe it was he had some sort of anger towards a teacher. We don't know, but he did it with a vengeance. Let me rephrase. McAllen ISD police and their guns. It's heartbreaking. Just change your appointment time, Anna.
I have
thank
had.
You, Kitty.
Yes, I have had.
Here, Kitty, thank you. I appreciate it for the block. Did the shooter get arrested or what happened? The shooter was killed. They killed him, correct? Or he killed himself?
Parece que él solo se mató.
Well, the shooter is no longer alive. Felicia, that is the $1 million question. He killed his grandma before he headed out of the elementary school. I read that the grandma was still alive.
That was in the hospital, right?
That was still in the hospital. But maybe things changed. I'm not too sure. Some of the new schools, the officers are made in the front as you walked in. No one is permitted to just walk in down the hallway. Security will be called. I think, they should go based on anybody that goes to campus should go in without any type of bags. Like you do it at the football games. The football games, they have it.
So you can't take a bag?
No, and Mercedes, what they have is at the football games, you could go in with a bag, but the bag has to be clear.
Oh, okay.
The bag has to be clear. So if you're going to go into the football game, the bag is clear, the officers look at it, and then you go in. And in that situation, if you're going to go into a campus, I believe they should say no bags allowed if you're a visitor.
Yeah.
If you're a visitor, no bags allowed. Because that would be a lot easier to preventing things like this. Okay. What I've read, he killed his own grandma and he jumped the school fence. Wow. Allowing license to carry would be a great idea. And you know what? Going back to Pretty Diva right there, I believe here in the state of Texas, you no longer need a license, or you still need a license for a weapon.
I don't know, because
I don't think you need a license to carry a weapon here in the state of Texas. If I'm mistaken, please correct me.
Oh, the DPS trooper shot him.
Please correct me if I'm mistaken. She passed. As a parent, it's hard to trust the school system because their parents trust. Yes, the shooter killed himself. Yes, the shooter was killed. Thank you, guys. Rest in peace to all the shooters. I think that's a good. Okay. Those troopers shot him. They shot a truck. The shooter was killed by law enforcement. Okay, my question is here, guys, help me out. Do you need a license to carry a weapon? Do you need an actual?
Now
You
it's
don't
too
need. You
cheap.
need. You don't need a license to carry a weapon. You must be 21. So, in other words, you don't need a license to carry. But do they still do the background check? Do they still do the background check? Because I believe they were doing background checks when you would buy a weapon. Yes, I agree with Jaime. They should not allow anyone to walk in. Yes, guys. My question is here: do they do a background check when you buy a weapon? I know that the license is not needed. You could buy a weapon. Yes, they do. They still do a background check. But to what extent is my question? To what extent do they do a background check when you buy a weapon?
Pues como esos los que tienen felonies que no pueden comprar, ¿cómo saben?
It comes out on the record.
Oh.
No law was passed where you don't need a license. No law was passed where you don't need a license. Yes, they do. Yes, they do background checks. No felonies. Felonies cannot. Well, a felon could eventually get a weapon. No, after a certain amount of years, they could end up with a weapon. It's like after certain years, they could go vote. I believe so. I am licensed, carry, and no felons, American citizen. Yes, they do a criminal background check and also run your name to see if you're okay. That right there, that's what I was asking right there. A psychiatrist patient. That right there is the key. But when people do not attend their mental issue health, then how can you track that down? I think before you go buy a weapon, before they even let you buy a weapon, I think you should be forced to go take a psychiatrist test.
En el Valle, ¿cuántos van acá? They buy them off the streets.
The thing is that's very difficult to stop. But I'm saying if you go to buy a weapon, an actual weapon, I think you need to be forced to take a psychiatric test before. Just like anything else, like you go with a car, you need to get the state inspection and luego saca las placas. ¿Sí o no?
Yes.
So why not make it a little bit more difficult?
Right.
So why not make it a little bit more difficult in order to buy a weapon?
I have somebody.
A lot of weapons are bought in the streets. That's true. Unfortunately, school administrators will not waste their time on these type of active shooting drill, and that is sad, Isabel Martinez. You're right about that because I go back to what's going on in my hometown school district, where they don't even care right now. These kids are being molested. There's been 10 victims at Mercedes ISD. They have been molested, penetrated by the coach and the teacher, and they don't care. They've had 2 times to investigate the case, and what do? They don't vote in favor of it. They don't vote in favor of hiring an outside agent to come investigate those cases, those 10 cases of these little girls getting penetrated by those. And I don't want to even cuss, but it pisses me off. Some schools over here have doorbells, the door and the speaker cameras face the door.
That's what they have at idea.
Okay, even if you have the doorbell, guys, and I go in with a weapon and I shoot the officer, the one that's there at the security guard that's there by the gate, boom, I shoot him, right? But if I go to a door, are those doors bulletproof?
I don't think so, porque el otro día con una canica quebraron.
Are those doors bulletproof? Yes or no? When you go to a school, I don't care how many alarms you put. I don't care if you have to press a button to go in. Are the doors bulletproof? That's my question.
I don't think so.
They should be. They should be. They invest so much money on other BS. Why not invest on having bulletproof glass doors? If someone is posting with a gun legally, they do not have the right to carry an arm. Cops needs to get them out. You're right about Cecilia. You're right. And you know what? We've had, not because I want to target anybody, but we've had my suegra and we had Vanessa who have shown weapons on live videos. And that right there is a red flag. I'm not saying that that's wrong or whatever they want to do it, but it's a wake-up call. And when somebody is waving down a gun and full of rage, that if you come over here, and I'll give you the example, like my suegra, they said, oh, I'm going to have my kids carry these guns. Remember, her kids are 2 adult disabled kids. They're both schizophrenic. One is schizophrenic. The other one believes he's a wizard and that he teleports. What are these adult disabled kids doing with weapons? I mean, not everyone that gets a hold of a gun are the ones that purchase the guns. Most of them are kids. Are the kid shooters. You're right about that. Especially when they so guys, again, It's just an example that I'm putting up there. If a person has any type of disability like that, they shouldn't be ¿cómo te diré? Owner of a weapon. I don't have one.
Yo tampoco.
I don't have a gun. I'm not
Porque
an
yo
owner
no
of a
me,
weapon.
yo no me confío en tener.
I don't have a weapon because I think que si me entra la loquera,
Yo también.
voy a ir a cagar palo. Por eso I don't have a weapon.
Sí, lo
So I
sé.
noticed that a lot of schools
Ya ves
here at
lo
the
que pasa con el
doorbells
carro.
are locked in the front entrance, but if you go around the back of the school, the gates are open and no staff around that area. Wow, Diva. Wow. Isn't it Texas not required a license to carry? No, Texas is not required to carry a license anymore. I believe you have to be 21 and older. That's what they just said. Why have guns if someone children are vaciados? Jesse, that's exactly what I said.
That's
That's
another
exactly what I
reason
said.
why I wouldn't have a gun.
Why would you have a weapon in your household knowing the fact that you have disabled kids with anger management, especially when a child has anger management, when a child is bipolar, when a child has some sort of a depression that leads to anger, and as a parent, you're going to see the child, how it's conducting himself, how he's carrying himself, and that should be a red flag. That should tell you, you know what, este anda mal, este anda acá, algo está pasando con este. Keep an eye on your kids, guys. Keep an eye on your kids. It's very important. Communicate with your child. It's very important.
And put it in like.
So that
the
run that was
safety-
triggered and she was running high adrenaline right now because Vanessa called her out and let her know the truth was coming to her. Whatever Vanessa's doing out there and called her out, I respect it. I respect Vanessa as an individual, guys, but there is things that I do not agree with her. And now that they brought her up, one thing that I don't agree with her was the time when she waved that weapon. I understand she waved it to intimidate people because of her safety of her life, but there's other ways to be able to inform them that you have a weapon at home to protect yourself from individuals like them without having to flash it here. You don't have to do that. You don't have to expose a weapon like that, because then like that you're making it seem like if you yourself is an unstable person.
Can I answer this one?
Video game? No. Which one? Video games. Yeah.
I do not allow my
Video
son,
games, Ana. Explain to them.
I don't allow the video games. Todos esos que Fortnite and my son wants to see them, pero I don't allow him. I don't allow for my son not even to have a water gun. And last year for his birthday, somebody gave him a water gun, and I waited hasta que se durmiera, and then I went and threw it in the trash, because mi niño, because of his condition, no va a entender lo que es la diferencia entre una water gun y una real gun. So I just don't.
But again, Mina, and going back, I saw Kim's comment right there, and it's very important. And when parents have anger issues, you know what? When there's a report of domestic violence at home,
Yes.
whether it happened or not, the minute there's a report of domestic violence is the minute that they should go in there and remove and confiscate all weapons to avoid any type of tragedy. Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot of things that could be done, but when are they going to get done? When people like you all take action, when people like you all go knocking on doors, when people like you all voice your opinions out there. It's very important to be active in your own community. When you're not active and you're here just typing on a keyboard, you're not going to accomplish anything. When you go out there to a school district and you inform them about your concerns, the way I'm doing it,
voting?
the way I'm doing it, because I don't like what I'm seeing at my hometown, the district itself, then things are going to change. But when you're over here on a computer, just typing over and over and making posts, criticizing everybody and their moms, what are you accomplishing? When you're not even allowed to go to your child's school because how you conduct yourself, that means eventually her child will probably develop depression, anxiety, or even develop any type of mental issues because of how the parent is conducting around her. It's common sense. It all starts with the parent, how they conduct themselves.
Mira, Pretty Diva.
Okay. Pretty Diva, but my husband, I have 2 boys that are licensed to carry. We even have a secret compartment in my car. We have the right to protect ourselves. Pretty Diva, that's good. Everybody has the right to protect themselves, but you're not going live and you're not waving your weapon. You're not over here showing your weapon and that you have this to protect you. You're informing us, which is great. But even like that, when you're over here waving a weapon, you have issues. Honestly.
Yeah.
A ver, ¿qué más ponieron? The people in jail will tell on
Pretty
Doña
big
because
session.
they're not going down on her. Well, whatever's going down over there with Vanessa's case, it really has nothing to do with what we're discussing here. So maybe on another show we could discuss it. I was just giving you an example of her carrying a weapon and flashing it. Do y'all think Ophelia will end up in jail due to the fact? I really don't mind. I'm not going to discuss that right now, baby. We could make a show tomorrow regarding to that Vanessa and Ophelia's incident. We could discuss that tomorrow, but not today. Advocate. What? The only reason Oito is the way he is Ophelia's fault. She's mentally abused him. He is afraid of her. Goyo, you're not a child anymore. Stop allowing your mother to control you. Nothing's wrong with you. No. So again, guys, también maybe a parent has a lot to do with it when they enable their son, right? And I know that you have a special need child. Two, are you trying to help them grow a normal life?
Yes.
As a parent, or are you enabling the child and still treating them like, okay, he's 11 or 12 and you're treating them like a 5-year-old?
My son todavía, I tell him, go take a shower. Yes, he goes and takes it, and then I go in there, let me help you, papi, put the soap let me put shampoo on your hair, but I let him try. Tomorrow he's be graduating from going to middle school, and I tell him, and when they were graduating from kinder, I told both of them, if you give me 3 more of these, if you give me 4 more of these, the little tassels se llaman las de eso.
Right.
If you give me 4 more of these, I'll be the happiest mom in the world, which was the kinder, the middle school, the high school, and a college. If you give me more than 4, I'll be the happiest mom in the world. If you give me more than 4, like that would be the best gift you can give me. And so I tell them they're going to college, they're gonna have a job, they're gonna get a house. My son tells me, oh, I want this. Sí, papi. Cuando crezca mi hijo, usted va a trabajar y usted va a tener su casa y le va a poner alberca y le va a poner
Pues
una
mira,
tree house.
like there where I live, we have Mary Gonzalez. Mary Gonzalez is an adult disabled, and she works at HEB. She has her part-time job. She works 20 hours. I had a primo of mine, Javier de Luna, who was disabled, who was in a wheelchair, graduated from West ISD. He got his associate from SCC. Y no sabía ni escribir, batallaba, but he was able to accomplish it. So my thing is, there is more to life.
Yes, I'm not going to say, oh no, you have autism.
Right here, Felicia Matter just said, yes, Doña has her children at home, has her slaves while she's on live 3 times a day. She has the cleaning her house, whatever. Communication is the key.
And I do.
So guys, let's not go back to like too much into the my suegra stuff. Let's focus on what we're trying to accomplish here, please.
Y like yo también le digo, como come, papi, put your trash away, put your cup
Curly
away.
Diva has a good comment right here. I believe they did a wise choice removing the guns away from BT. They should do the same to Ophelia. Correct. They should remove the weapons from her because how she's conducting herself, how she's carrying herself. We don't know if she's taking any type of controlled substance medication or psychiatric medication. We don't know. But if sabemos that she's an alcoholic, sabemos that this and that. But if she has any psychological problems, then they should remove her weapons. Look at the new changes the day I said it and stuff. Is taking her son to lie to say they are depressed because of the Ruby Hyman. She's trying to get Jaime in trouble. Is taking her sons to the psychiatrist to lie to say that they are stressed and depressed because of Ruby Jaime. She's trying so hard to get Jaime in trouble. I know she is, but it's okay, guys. At the end of the day, she's causing them more stress because I don't have them sitting here to watching my YouTube channel. They don't have any type of YouTube channel. And the only way he's finding out is because she sits them there.
It's like me and my son. ¿Cuántas veces Nanito ha venido y nos ha dicho que he wants to be part of our show?
He's asked before.
And we deny it. And he said, I'll be a silent viewer. I'll wear a mask. But we're not going to put Nathaniel in a grown-up show. I'm not in tomorrow, guys. I don't know if on I know if on my page and my page I will not post a picture of my son or the graduation. I still don't know if I will post in my personal Facebook because of everything that's going on. Si yo permito, and today he got a beautiful haircut. Shout out to Classic Barber Shop in Westaco. They did a wonderful job on my son. They did an awesome haircut. And he said, "Can I show them my haircut? Can I go on your live and show?" And I said, "No, papi. I'll give them a shout out. Like I'll say that they gave you your haircut, but no." Because if I sit him here, y si yo me pongo, y tú, Nanito, what do you think? What do you think about the shooting? And what? Yo estoy exponiendo a mi hijo.
The thing is that I see here is that she sits them down and she tells them things to I don't want to use a word, but to cluster their mind with full of ugly thoughts. And she's trying to come after me in certain ways. I feel that all these platforms are addressing the Uvalde school shooting right now, but we are not touching the subject until the shooting occurs. You know what, Angie? You're right, but I had already addressed this in my hometown several times when Commissioner Jacob Howell had questioned the school district about situations like this. I was very active. I brought it up to the attention of Superintendent. I discussed it in my own page before I became Ruby, and I discussed it in other platforms. So I've been very active with situations like this, and the reason I brought it up was because in Mercedes they kept on changing the chief of police. They went from Dago, they went to Macias. From Macias, they went to Blanca. So obviously, when there's a change of chief of police, everybody comes in with their own mindset on how to address situations like this. Especially because that's who you use. And I had issues and concerns with Mercedes PD because they don't even have the equipment for the investigations. They don't have it.
Have a jail.
And they don't have a jail. So I had many concerns there. And obviously, my question was, if they don't respond, who's going to respond to this? They told me, we'll call Westaco La Feria or the Sheriff Department. Pues cuando lleguen ya balacearon a todos ahí.
Yeah.
So I've addressed this concern with my own hometown school district. Y calla tu gato o viéntalo para afuera. Angie Garcia, you are 100% correct. I hope people still make this a big warning. She recently let them go due to the rain. So, guys, so then I myself have addressed it. My question is, have you all addressed situations like this? Have you all gone to your school district and really as a parent been involved? Have you gone knocking on doors and making sure that you are involved as a parent? Ana, have you gone to the school district and questioned them yourself without lying? No me sales una mamada.
About what? I'm sorry.
About having weapons.
No, not about that. Other stuff, yes.
Have you gone and been involved where you question them? Hey, in case of an emergency with this situation, what do we do?
No,
like
not about that. Tampoco.
Okay, so maybe now you should consider it as a parent, right? And you should start questioning it.
Yeah, and I was worried talking to Armando Martinez.
State Rep Armando Martinez.
I had a meeting with him the day that I ended up going to the hospital. We had a live chat with him, but we were worried about him getting us help for the summer for children with disabilities, like a program or something for children with disabilities. And maybe this is something that I should bring up. I'm not saying that wasn't important. Pero I think es más importante esto.
Well, Mando is a personal friend to myself. He's a very good friend of mine.
I told him.
What?
That I knew you.
Oh, Mando's a very good friend of mine, and he's worked very hard to do what he has to do as a state rep. I encourage people, as a matter of fact, that he's up for re-election in November to go out and vote and support for him. He runs as a Democrat. Good luck, Mando, on your race. I hope school district officials really take this tragedy serious. School needs to step it up. And as you as good parents need to speak up. Exactly. It's called involvement by a parent. When there's no involvement in questions, safe schools, that's where the issue comes. Safe school is that department you have to go question.
Safe schools.
Safe schools, because that's who runs everything. I'm calling tomorrow since mine will start the school this coming year. I hope schools officials really take this gun serious. It's up to okay, awesome. Prayers for the community Valde. I have gone to my kids' school and I have asked them questions. The issue is not the schools; it's the parent and needs to be further educated on gun safety. Actually, you're right about that to a certain extent, Angie, because the child spend more time at the campus with the teacher than at home. So I see that maybe 60-40. And if you want to call and argue with me, the number is 956-756-6047. The child spends more times with the teacher at school than with the parent. So I think this, yes, the parent has to be educated, but also the teacher needs to know what to do in situations like this. If the teacher is not educated to take initiative or to respond to an action like this, then there's more consequences to it. I'm very involved parent. Most teachers know me by my first name. Awesome. Yvette, you are the awesome, amazing mom. Exactly. Jaime is so sad. Yep, kids' parents are perfect strangers. Of course, they spend more times at home. It's like, for example, I go out to my district because that's where I live, and I'm very passionate about this. There was 10 little girls who were molested, and this is the exposure. All this junk, guys, that's been going on in my district. And I'm involved because I see the parents are lacking involvement. The parents are lacking awareness. The parents are not fully aware of what's going on. So I have my own page. I have my own political page aside this that I have. I have another page that I run where I keep on exposing things, where I keep on speaking facts, what's going on with my school district or the school district where I live. Okay. That's here?
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Hello?
Hello. So let's debate.
Ahora, ¿qué quieres? ¿Qué quieres? No, talk to me. You said that the parents need to be educated more. Of course they do.
Yes. Let's just agree or agree to disagree that right now I just feel as a parent, schools are being blamed for everything. And we've given schools full power over our children. And I'll tell you why. Because the mentality that we now have. There's a school shooting, it was the school's fault. How is it the school's fault? If
I understand.
agencies would let parents educate their children, there wouldn't be kids like they are right now.
Well, the thing is, if you educate a teacher, if you educate administration, if the superintendent will do their job appropriately, then I think it would help out. But when the superintendent is not held accountable for situations like this, or even other situations, then who's going to take accountability? That's important.
Okay, I get where you're coming from, but let's say you're an educator, or let's say you're a superintendent.
Okay.
And my daughter goes with a gun and kills five kids. How is it your responsibility?
My responsibility. Okay, my responsibility.
How are you gonna know that my daughter was gonna take a gun into one of your schools?
Okay, assuming that your daughter would take a gun into my school, and I am the superintendent, what I would do is I would prepare my teachers, my administration for situations like this. I would not wait for the last minute or until this situation occurs. I would prepare them with time, how there is a way to educate them. There is educational, and it falls under safe schools. Who do you hire as a safe school? And I'll give you the example. In Mercedes, they hired a teacher, a former teacher principal, to be the administration from safe school. That's BS. You have to hire somebody that comes in with the knowledge of law enforcement, somebody who has experience as an Army, Border Patrol, an officer, a lieutenant, somebody who knows how to respond to this, to train your teachers, to train your security guards, to train situations like this. So now what you do is throughout the school year, you're going to have situations like this. Like you're going to pretend that somebody comes in as a shooter. Boom, how are you going to respond to it? How fast the police department's going to get there? Now you have to get the city involved as well. So as a superintendent that I would really do my research. I would really try to educate my teachers, my staff, and I would really have somebody that knows what they're doing in a safe school.
Yes, and I get it. You're saying we're educating, but how? Tell me how. How would you, as Jaime, how would you think
you would spot a gun, or you would spot somebody that has the intentions of shooting.
That's what I'm saying. If the tragedy occurs, right, then it's already too late. But if
We know right now in the actuality, Jaime, when it comes to politics, we know that even if funds are available, they're very limited. Why are teachers right now feeling like, even when the pandemic happened, they felt so overwhelmed? Why? Because they're being underpaid. The teachers are the most underpaid people, aside from the nurses.
Well, it depends on what school district you work with.
And yet, they're the ones that get blamed a lot. They get blamed for everything. They're the ones that get the short end of the
But the thing is that I don't blame. Look,
no, I would blame the parents because
no, I would blame the superintendent.
Taking control for their kids'
No,
actions.
the thing is that
Yes,
you blame the superintendent because if she does not educate the school district itself on how to respond like situations like this prior to having a situation, maybe you could have avoided less people dying. Maybe you could have responded in a different format. Boom, you heard one shooting.
Where was the gun? But where was the gun?
See,
where was the
you're
gun? Ahí es donde empieza, Jaime. That's what I mean. Like, ahí es donde empieza. Where is the gun? The gun was not at school. The gun was not purchased at school.
Well, it's common sense. The gun was not purchased at school. The gun was purchased somewhere else. Maybe it was a grandma. Maybe it was a friend's. I don't know where the gun's purchased. And honestly, that right there has nothing to do with the school district. What I'm trying to say is preparing the school district, preparing the students, preparing administration. Because if you don't have a system or a preparation for a situation like that, you're gonna have more injuries. You're gonna have people.
But we've had so many shootings already. We've had so many shootings, and we've had shootings with in states where there's a lot of funds for all these things, and we still haven't learned anything.
Yes, but
that was what, 30 plus years ago?
Right, but you got to remember that people think differently than I do. I think very different, and I'm very blunt and transparent that I would get things done totally different. I wouldn't wait for a situation to occur. I think about the smallest things that could make a huge impact, and that's why I think about preparation instead of procrastinating and allowing situations to occur like this, and then you prepare for it. For example, I'll give you the example that's been going on at Mercedes ISD. Superintendent Mendiola, she did her own investigation, right? She assumed that Coach David Reyes never molested no little girls. What did she do? She reassigned him back into the campus. He ended up molesting 6 more little girls. So
and that's a totally different scenario from having guns.
It's the same. It's a right. No. But I'm giving you an example of how unprepared and how uneducated it falls on the superintendent for making decisions like that.
Yes, Taco, I agree with you. We should let teachers be armed. We should let teachers be armed because right now I feel that parents, they're getting away with a lot of things like, oh, well, I mean, if as a parent, you talk to your child, you would find out more of what's going on in their heads. Right. But parents take that route, that easy route where, ay no, que batallen los teachers con ellos, pues para eso les pagan a las pinches viejas, bien que ganan dinero. Ah, pero ellas sí, con food stamps, con toconas del año, poniéndose uñas and doing all these things. And the teachers don't get to do that. And I feel that it is an issue with the parents.
I think it falls 60-40. Actually 55-45, 55 on the administration, superintendent, teachers, 45 on the parents, because they spend more time at school than with the parent.
But you're taking the responsibility away from the parents. Do you remember? I remember when I was growing up and I would go skipping. I would get home and my mom got a call from school. I got a beating. Like, my mom would beat the hell out of me. She would be like, cabrona, quiere no ir a la escuela. Bueno, pues póngase a trabajar.
But you got
right now, I know of children that are not going to school porque, ay, no, yo le tengo miedo a la Ronnie. Ay, no, mijo, no vaya, mijo, no. Porque las maestras allí, no, like, everything is blamed on the teachers. Let's just be all the way 1,000. Like, everything is blamed on the educators as far as that is concerned. Now, if you have a sexual predator that is doing these things to little children or even young adults, well, of course, el peso de la ley que caiga sobre ellos.
Sí, pero the way I see it, sí. But you asked me a question. You asked me a question about how would I avoid a situation like this? How would I know there's a gun? You know, that somebody's coming in with a gun. What I was trying to explain to you is you try to prepare yourself for situations like this prior to them occurring. You train your teachers, you educate your teachers, you educate administration, you have drills just the way.
You're not paying them enough to educate. How are you going to give them special training if you're not paying them enough?
The thing is, hold on. The thing is that you have a safety school department, and I believe every school district has it. That's the key. That is the key. Safe schools is the key because that's what runs the entire school district and has the plan, supposedly, to prevent shit that happened today.
I totally disagree with you, Jaime. Like, just having to blame the school and the school district, and I understand that you have this thing against the school because of what happened in Mercedes ISD, and I get it, and I'm with you on that. But when it comes to gun control, I think we've had so many examples of.
I know, and I know where you're coming. I know you're speaking about.
Do it because we'd rather spend more money, like.
Right, and that's where the issue from. I agree with that. The money that the school district is receiving, those federal grants and stuff like that, that's where you should utilize it to educate, to train your teachers and all that stuff. I'm not saying, okay, spend the money in this department only, but it's also important to educate and train your teachers for situations like this. I know that when it occurs 10 years later, people don't care about it. People move on, ya pasó. And it happens again, and it happens again, and it happens again, because it falls in the school district, but also because the superintendent is not active in the aspect is you start pushing new bills, you call the Congress, you get involved with the state representative, you call state, and you start you call the senator, and there has to be more involvement by the schools districts as well as the community itself. That's why it's important to go vote. If you don't exercise your vote, shit like this will continue.
And a lot of people don't vote. I'll be very honest with you. A lot of people don't vote because of the reason that no matter, and we saw it with this niña with Singletary.
Mm-hmm.
She had a very big following. Did she win the election? No, she didn't. So that's why a lot of people say, you know what, ni pa qué.
Well, I mean, now that you brought up Singletary,
standing there for 2 hours in that line, que al cabo como quiera, whoever they want in office is gonna be in office.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something that now that you brought up Singletary, I really love that woman. She was a very educated person, smart individual, intelligent individual. She brought a lot to the plate. But you know why she didn't get elected? Because people here in the Valley still have a vendetta against empowerment of women. They still have that machista. They don't want to see a woman grow.
What I'm saying. Like, she had a big following.
They don't want to see a woman prosper. They don't want to see a woman, take over and run our county. So that is one of the main issues. Here in Hidalgo County todavía existe el machista.
Pero a lo que les conviene, porque no a todo. Like, if it's one of their women, you bet you're behind that they're gonna push it.
Yes.
And we know who the big ballers are because we know who they are.
Yeah, we do.
It's just turning the blind eye and hace como que no viste nada, que el tío que está molesting a la sobrina, no hombre, no digas nada, girl, no digas nada.
Right.
Just leave
but
it
I want to
like
thank you. I want to thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. Gracias.
Thank you, Miss.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, Jaime. Have
Thank
a good
you.
one.
Likewise.
You too, Miss.
Bye.
Bye. Guys, so we've been here for about an hour, guys. I want to thank everybody that was here tonight with us. I want to thank everybody who took the time to was here and with us tonight. It was a very good show. I do want to remind everybody to continue to pray for the community of Uvalde, Texas, where 18 students lost their life in a tragic way of a shooting, guys. And again, guys, if anybody has any type of concerns, questions, or needs any type of help, let me know. And this is a prime example, guys, that people like this that show weapons like that is a big no-no. It's a big no-no. I don't understand why you have to go take pictures with guns. What are you trying to accomplish? Si tienes una pistola, la tienes, está bueno. But to be posting pictures like that, no. I'm sorry, guys. But I want to thank everybody that was here with us tonight, guys. Gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Tomorrow we will go back to our regular show, guys. We just needed to do a special show for tonight to show support for the community of Uvalde, Texas. People,
okay, let me
people want to call in, okay?
Yes,
956-756-6047. 956-756-6047. I agree. Posting with a gun is lame. Very lame. I think somebody texted me right here. Hold on, guys. I read, hey, I was on your live. Guys, moderators, can you all look for Perrita or something like that that was blocked yesterday or the day before yesterday? Or can you all write down the names of the people that we have blocked and send them to me so that I could let you know which one it is to unblock? Because I don't remember it off my head. Okay, guys, so they please.
On the air or off the air?
Hey.
Hi, you want to be on the air? Okay.
Yeah, on the air side.
Hello.
Can you lower your TV or your tablet, please?
Hold on. Let me have that. Everyone on the phone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, it's me, Beth.
Monday, man. What's up, girl?
Hey, like I was saying, I was listening to what it was Connie, no, la que habló.
No, it was Angie.
Okay, well, they don't listen to me. I agree with a lot of what she was saying. And you were saying that Mercedes ISD is not prepared.
No.
Edinburgh, and I thought it was all the schools valley-wide that did this. Edinburgh, ever since Sandy Hook happened, they started doing drills. My daughter would tell me that they would hide in the closet, hide under the desks,
Right.
how to barricade themselves, like in the classroom and stuff. And I know that Edinburgh, at least the schools that I've seen, they have an armed police officer because ECISD has its own police department.
Correct.
They have them there at the front. And you don't go in through the front doors.
Okay.
You go in through the side of the office, at least. The elementary my daughter went to, they had a side door, that's where you went in. You were not allowed in the front. You weren't allowed to drop off your kids either. I mean, like go into the school.
Right.
You went into the school when there was you had a parent teacher conference. You had there was like events, meetings, stuff like that.
Right.
But I thought I don't know. I just thought I was under the assumption that all Valley schools were like that.
No, not all schools are prepared against funding is very important. And when you micromanage, the school district, and when you waste the money in other departments where it's not needed, then it affects the budget in a lot of ways.
I don't know. I also did agree with her on. I think the school has, because obviously something was wrong with this kid. And I think the school needs to educate maybe the kids a little bit more, because a lot of shootings also happen, especially in the high schools, because of bullying.
Right.
And I'm thinking, okay, why did they not educate the kids more? Stop your shit, stop being little assholes. Of course,
The thing is, Mira, the thing is that the people don't think outside the box. People think that they're very close-minded, and when you have a person that thinks or has a longer range of thinking, uh, that's when you start thinking differently than what other people do. And it's very important that you do that, because when you don't think outside the box, you end up being close-minded, and you don't think the way you're thinking right now about educating the students. And it falls a lot on our school districts here in the valley. They don't have the funding to educate everybody.
I guess. I mean, because I was also reading comments here saying that whooping doesn't do anything for the kids. I know my mom will whoop my ass like until when I wouldn't pay attention, it was like, and I mean, I would get my chingas.
Well, that a lot has to do with the state también, with CPS laws that ahora no le puedes pagar a un niño. I remember my mom would spank. My mom would do it.
Yeah, sometimes CPS doesn't understand. They're not little angels.
Right.
Yes, of course.
What did you do?
No.
You hung up on your.
Yeah, I was gonna text her.
You should have just let it ring.
Ahora ni una ni otra.
I think, Yvette, I'm sorry, but Anna hung up on you by accident. If you could call us back.
Can you please tell Miss Kim Raines that we'll call her as soon as we're done with her? We'll call you back right now, Miss Kim. As soon as we're back done with
you're calling the wrong number, no?
Am I?
Oh, no. Oh, Yvette said it's okay. Call Kim. Sorry, Yvette, about that.
I am so sorry, Yvette. I am so sorry.
Who's in charge of the phone, and so she's hanging out, messaging people, and doing a lot of crazy stuff. Okay, put it out there. And I'll let you address Kim for this one. Hey, Kim, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Sorry, we're on the other line with Yvette.
It's okay. Are y'all still on? Or
Yes, we're still on.
Okay. I just want to kind of reiterate what you said regarding superintendent, but you can't really blame one person, okay? Because this is a tragic accident, or it's not an accident. It's a tragic event, right?
It is.
And I just feel like that, the schools do have to have some type of plan of action in the event this does happen. And I feel like had they not, of course, we don't know all the details of everything that happened today. So we can't really say, what happened, how he got in there, that type of thing. But I do feel like had the teachers not been prepared, okay, it could have been more tragic.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
In other words, instead of 18 kids being killed or 14 kids being killed,
It could have been hundreds.
There could have been hundreds killed. You understand?
Well, I have.
Maybe by their actions and what they were taught, a plan of action,
Right.
Put them in the coat closet, get underneath your desk. I mean, they had to be, the kids were scrambling.
Right.
And, and I've seen on TV when things have happened like this before, and, how scared the kids are, and they're hiding. And of course, the teachers have to have a plan of action for their rooms, and so I just feel like, it's just something that you do out of panic mode. I mean, in other words, you may not, yes, you can teach them, and yes, you can go through all these drills, right? But at the end of the day, you don't know what you're going to do in a situation like this. You don't know what we would do.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And I feel like every school has to have, by law,
Training.
some type of plan of action.
The thing is, Kim, I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. I know that you were speaking about the superintendent right now and stuff like that, preparation, or you were really looking at the situation that occurred today. But the question was from Angie: if I were to be a superintendent, what would I have done to prepare myself for situations like this? And you nailed it when you said a plan of action. So I'm not speaking about the situation that occurred now, but they asked me the question: if I were to be the superintendent, what would I have? A plan of action in order to save more lives if a situation like this would occur.
Right. And like I said, I feel like that particular school district, even though it was a small district, I feel like they had to have something they did today.
Something
You know,
right.
In other words, something that those teachers did today
Save
saved
more
a lot
lives.
of students. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So they had to have a plan in place.
Right.
Plan in place. I guess that's what you want.
Right, because there's been tragedies in other school districts where there has been more than 14 or 18 students that have passed away because the plans are not well prepared.
And and this deal, and I understand where you're coming from Mercedes. That's a tragic situation too. It makes me sick. And but that's one person's bad decision. Okay?
Right.
Yes, could the other school board members have done something? Absolutely. Or gone against her or whatever. But it's tragic because, those young ladies were
Molested.
raped up there. They were babies.
Right.
And that's what bothers me. But anyway, we're not on that subject.
Well, thank you for calling in, Kim. I really appreciate it.
I just wanted to put my
Thank you,
two
ma'am.
cents in, and and I just think we just really, as parents, we need to talk. I mean, of course, mine are grown, right, already.
Right.
But I do have grandbabies.
But even like that, you still have to be
Yeah.
involved.
Informed. And
Involved
involved.
is the key. Informed, no, but involvement is the key. If you're not involved, then how are you going to get informed?
Advocate. You've got to be involved with your children. You've got to talk to them, let them know, hey, this occurred today. What would you do in this situation? And kind of give them. I mean, there's just bad things going on in this world. I would not, and I pray for all you parents because I would never want to raise any children in this world the way it is right now.
Mhm.
Honestly, I mean, I have to give everybody props because, we have to you're going to have to do your part to keep them safe. It can't be, yes, you drop them off in the morning and yes, you just have to pray for a hedge of protection over your babies every day.
Right.
But you can't think that the school's going to take care of everything because they're not. I mean, they're not babysitters. I mean, we have to educate your children.
Right, but while the student is at school, your child is at school. It is the responsibility of the teacher.
Of the school, absolutely. But
Thank you.
They can't be responsible
For other people's, I mean, I know where you're coming from. You're trying to explain to me they cannot be responsible for other people's actions, like that individual that came with the weapon and shot those students. But but it seemed like if they were very well prepared because not a lot of lives were lost, and that's what I'm speaking about. It's important to have a plan of action, to train throughout the school year, to have drills, to be active, because if that's not occurring in your school district, then there's something wrong there.
Well, it's like those little girls. I mean, as parents, you've got to talk to your children. Hey,
Right.
if somebody touches you the wrong way, what you need to do, and that, you know what I mean. You
Yes.
need to let them educate your children. In other words, talk to them. Let them know that it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't be touched by anybody inappropriately. Blah
Right.
blah blah.
Right.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, we could go on and on. But I appreciate you letting me talk.
Thank you, Kim. I appreciate
Thank
for
you
calling
so much
in.
for
Thank
calling
you.
in.
And I love you guys. A great
Oh,
show.
thank
you.
Like always.
Thank you, Kim. Appreciate it. Okay, bye
All
bye.
right. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Guys, so we're gonna go ahead and end our lives. If no one else wants to call in,
No messages.
nobody else wants to call in, let us know, guys. The number is 956-756-6047. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate everybody that was here tonight. Share the video, share the video, share the video. Invite your friend, invite a cousin, whatever, to be part of our show. Our numbers have been growing. I appreciate all the support as well. I appreciate all the donations, everything that came in today. Gracias. Hey, Jaime, I have a question. What is it, pretty lady? What is the question you have for us, pretty lady?
Diva.
I'm pretty diva. Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. 14 is okay. It's now 2 teachers, 18 students that have passed away. Wow. Wow. Okay.
What was your question, Miss Pretty Diva?
Okay, yes, we're not there. We cannot say if anything, anyone did anything, have changed anything. How many times have changed? Only remember fire drills and stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. A lot of things have changed in now in society with students. Students are more. There's more out there than I believe at the time that I grew up. No había tanto que se miraba en la televisión, se miraba tanto in movies and stuff like that. Now a PG-13 has a little bit of these sex scenes where they're not showing, this, but it's questionable. And then you have the rated R where they're pretty much showing the weapons all over the place and stuff. So a lot has to do with how society is changing or doing a transition.
Te iba a preguntar, Jaime, what happens if they're in the bus? Let's say somebody's running from
but again, that falls under safe schools if they're prepared.
The buses would still be like under that school?
Yes, the school districts belong to the bus. It's common sense. And if the school district belongs to the bus, or the bus belongs to the school district, obviously it's going to have to follow the protocols of the school district.
Pero even if they're like in a game?
Even if it's a game, it has to deal with the school district. Even if it's a basketball game, and even if it's away, you still belong to the district itself, Ana. Assuming you went to Western or wherever, okay, y te fuiste a jugar en Corpus, you still are under the responsibility of Western ISD as long as you travel in the bus to the game, from the game to your house. Or to the school. Once you're at the school, they pick you up. You're no longer part of the school district responsibility. No. But 18 children have died, guys. And continue praying for these parents out there and for everybody right now who is in critical condition, guys. But when a shooter is shooting and killed, what will be the way the teachers can protect the child? Okay, but when a shooter is shooting and killing, what will be the way the teacher can protect a child? Pretty Diva, that is why I'm explaining to you, and that was why I told you and everybody that it falls under safe schools. They have a plan of action. They have a way to train and educate a teacher for these types of scenarios. That means that throughout the school year, you have fire drills, you have training of individual going through the school with a weapon, and you have these trainings for these students or for these teachers, for these administrations, and they will train you. I do not specialize in this type of department, but if I was a superintendent, I would make sure I would hire the right individual to come educate our teachers, our staff, our administration for a situation like this. Again, I myself have advocated for my school district or for the school district where I live. I've addressed these concerns several times in the past, and I will bring them up to light once again because I've been and now that I have you all here, I've been considering running for school board in Mercedes ISD for place 1. A trustee place 1, and that's very personal to me, but I would like to share it with you all. From aside from Ruby and stuff like that, I've had tons of people that have messaged me and showed me support, people that want to contribute, buy my signs, and expect me to run because they love how I advocate for my community, and I'm very proud of doing that and standing up for these children. I had to
a border patrol.
Agent Gunn, when he attended his graduation, he wasn't happy. Here in Florida, all schools are safe schools. Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. The door should be locked, guys. 19 kids. I'm hearing 19 kids, guys. So, get triste, guys. Answer. Hold on, we got one more call, guys.
On the air or off the air?
On here.
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Hey, so here's some food for thought.
Okay.
So what if we do arm the security guards or whatever, and it's not too common down south in the valley because of the fact that most kids are born raised Hispanic. You know, like 90% of the kids are Hispanic. But what as you move north, you have like the colored kids, or there's mixed races. What if it comes down to like, what I'm saying, like a Black Lives Matter type thing,
Well, you know what? Now that you and you brought up the topic of Black Lives Matters right now, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't want to offend anyone or disrespect anyone's, but to me, all life matters. It doesn't matter whether you're green, yellow, black, brown, purple. All lives matters. That is the bottom line. That we were all created by the same person, which is God, and He gave us a life to be here. So all lives matter. I don't believe in a lot of things how society has it, because now they has caused diversity and conflicts amongst everybody. I think everybody should be there should be equality amongst each others. Okay, I just want to get that out of my chest.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, like, you're on the color kids, and as you look at it's more visible. You see the racism. The racism is there. I know a lot of people like to say that it's not there, or try to cheat and pretend it's not there, but it is there. It's some places it's not as prominent as others, but it's there. Well, then when you have a security person, just anybody that has a gun, what if they shoot a kid? Then it becomes another problem. So what I'm saying is that it's kind of like a double-edged sword, but your idea to get like retired policemen involved, that's a pleasant, awesome idea. But it makes you wonder what would happen. Like what is the right thing to do?
It's because the thing is that you have to really break it down, and you cannot have an educator, a teacher, a former teacher, a former principal in charge of safe schools. They're not educated for that. They're not trained for that. So you need somebody that comes with experience as a former officer or a former active duty army, former border patrol, former law enforcement, because that is the key of a training, and that is the key of opening doors. Like, you know what, now let's try to bring in the cops in here. Let's try to do something different and educate our teachers. I think that should be one of the main issues they should address is safe schools.
You are absolutely correct. That is perfect, because we cannot actually, like, you can't actually expect to give a teacher a gun and say, hey, is somebody crazy? And some people do have the mentality to kill somebody, but not everybody does. I know I would.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you saying, bring somebody with the experience, that is key right there.
Right.
You are 100% correct.
Right. And it's important to get somebody with experience, because now you have somebody with a resume that's been in situations like that. They comes in with a different mentality that could be in place or input with the school district, and it would be a better transition than having an educator take over the Department of Safe School. I don't understand how he's going to go. I understand he's an educator, but what does he know about situations like this?
Or what training has he had?
That is a wonderful, wonderful idea. That is exactly the way to go. You are 100% correct. Yes. Because, it's just, there's lots of variables, and it's better to have somebody that has the experience, knows what's going on, this is just a lot.
Right.
So, and I'm glad you're covering this, and I feel bad for everyone that was involved, even the shooter. Everybody deserves, unfortunately, the kid, he might have had mental issues, or he was bullied, or whatever it was. There's a mother, there's a family.
there's still someone hurting, regardless of the situation. The child who went with the weapon and caused all this tragedy. At the end of the day, there's still a mother and a father, or someone mourning his loss, mourning his death. So it's understandable. You as a parent probably understand the whole entire picture. I feel that it's just very sad, a sad situation for the entire community. That's why this show I decided to speak about unity, because it's important to show unity, to be there for one another. You know, we might not be in this situation right now, but we might have one of our supporters here with depression, suicide thoughts, or an addiction, or whatever it is. Don't be afraid to reach out to one another. That's what I have to say. Don't be afraid. Learn to love each other and build a friendship amongst each other. Cecilia lives 4 or 5 hours away from where I live, and we communicate daily. I communicate with other of my supporters too, and it's important to do that because we are here for one another. It's unity. It's the key to be able to grow as a family.
Yep, that is correct. That is correct. Thank you for taking my call, and also
Thank you.
I appreciate it. God bless you. Guys, so buenas noches, guys. Hasta mañana y Dios me los bendiga. We had a great show, a very great show. And again, continue to pray for the community of Uvalde, Texas. Y Dios me los bendiga a cada uno de ustedes. Get involved, exercise your vote, and reach out to one another. God bless you all.
Thank you.